Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Pong within 20 minutes with a functioning opponent. So, basically it's not exactly a mimic of the original game, but it is pretty dang similar. It has a winning condition, like whenever you lose, it actually restarts the game. And it has a functioning opponent, which at this state is a little unbalanced, as you can see. But I can show you guys in a later episode how to balance that as well. But I think you guys will enjoy the video today. This will be a quick 20-minute tutorial on how to make Pong. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Ooh, this is hard. Alright, before you guys start, you're going to want to download the free version of ClickTeam Fusion 2.5 from the link in the description, or you can just click the link up here. And yeah, just hit download free version now. Open it up, update all the stuff, and then you should be good to go. Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be making the game that I showed at the beginning of this video. Here's the game real quick. So it's basically just the original Pong, but with a little bit of changes. The graphics are different, and there's no necessarily score yet. I'm not sure if the original Pong had score or not. But yeah, it even has a functioning opponent who can play against you, so you don't have to have any friends. But yeah, today I'm going to go through, and just within 20 minutes, I'll show you guys how you can make this game yourself. Whoops, I lost. Okay, so first what we're going to do is hit File, New. As a disclaimer, I have my menu set up a little bit differently than you will by default, and I'm also using developer version, but in trial you can do everything I will do in this. So first off, we want to change the resolution of our play screen. This is our play area's resolution, not our overall application's resolution. There are two different things. As you can see, the play area is everywhere in the entire screen. This big white box. But the part that you see will just be here. So what we want to change is that this part that you see, which is called the virtual view, the virtual resolution, needs to cover the entire screen. We're going to hit Application, then Properties, which will take us to our application properties. We're going to open up our Window tab and change the size to 1280 by 720. I feel like 720p is a pretty overall resolution that should work on most computers, so I like to do that. And also, just for quick reference, we're going to go to our application properties again and change resize display to fill window size and anti-aliasing when resizing. This will make it so when we hit run application, which is F8 for your hotkey for that, it'll open this up, but then when you hit full screen, it'll resize everything in the screen to the resolution you want. First off, we're going to make an insert object, which will be our active. We're going to make an active, which is basically the default moving or even non-moving object you can use through Fusion. We're going to make this our background though, and you can also use backgrounds and different things like that, which are a different type of object, but I like using actives for most things because they're a little more versatile than most tools. And yeah, we're going to make our black object. I'm going to change the code so it looks a little less blue, and we're gonna just fill the entire cube we have here. Oh, and also the grid back here, almost forgot to mention, you can make this grid which locks on your objects to a grid, which makes it a lot easier to place things relatively close to where you want to by hitting grid setup, putting your origin at 0, 0, your width at 32, 32, which is what I use, and then snap to grid, show grid, which is also these two buttons. Snap to grid is the part that makes it stick. You can also just do this for reference, but I like snap to grid. We'll position our object up there, and then go into, click on our object, make sure your properties are open, and then hit your size and position menu, change your width to 1280 and your height to 720, which this will be our background. So yeah, these red dots also, by the way, will not be in game. So if you hit F8 and run your application, you can see that the red dots are just for reference. They're really nice for setting up the game. Now we need our paddle. So we're going to hit active, our second active, rename it player paddle, and we're going to put him right here. And we're also going to make his height. I think I used 960 in that demo. So yeah, we're going to do 960, which is about 3 blocks, or that's why you use 32 as a reference. You can count 32s pretty easily. 32, 64, 90, I think 32, 64, 96, 1280. So that you can just, if you remember those numbers, you can pretty much make any object the right size that fits with your grid. Or you can use a different grid, it doesn't really matter. Pick the second from highest color of white, because white, the top white has a little bit of a weird glitch sometimes. If you're, it involves transparency and things like that. So now we have our player paddle. We also want an opponent paddle though, so we're gonna right click and hit clone object. The difference between clone and duplicate is clone creates a new object with individual properties and they can have multiple properties. Duplicate just creates the exact same object twice, which as you see up here on our object menu, that it didn't create an actual new object on here, it's just literally a copy of that, so they do the exact same thing. So we don't want that. We want another object called, and so we'll clone instead. And we're going to call that bot paddle, not duplicate. Right click, rename, and we're going to name it bot paddle. So this is our opponent's paddle, which for now is just a bot, but we can also program multiplayer in, and I'll do another video on that if you guys enjoy this one. So align and frame, vertical center. We want to make sure at the beginning of the game our paddles are centered because that just makes it look nice and neat. We're going to insert an object, another object, which is going to be our ball. I'm going to put our ball, we're going to right click, horizontal center, and right click again, align frame, vertical center. As you can see, the dots are a little off. That's because 32 doesn't fit into 720 perfectly, but it's pretty close. We're going to right click, hit edit, and this is going to be the same color white as the last one, so second to the top. There we go. Drop it right there. And now we are getting closer to making the game. We're going to go into our event editor, which is basically the programming side of Fusion. It makes it all visual though, and there's also different like actual line by line codes you can make, but this is the basic way and the most used way that you can program your game. First off, we're going to want to make sure our ball cannot bounce out of the arena, so we're going to do test position of active 2, which we'll name ball when we get back. And this is basically testing to see if it hits the border of any side of the play area. So if it tries to leave the play area, we will make the ball movement. Oh, we can't do movement yet because we haven't set our movements up for our object in their properties. So I'm going to click on our active 2. Let's name it ball before we forget. And we're going to make this not static, we're going to make it bouncing ball, and we're also going to turn the speed up just slightly so that that it's a little harder to catch the ball. And also we want to make, you can also change your randomizer and your security, which is basically, security is reliability, that it won't go in a complete random direction, and then randomizer is also, you can make it really random. So if I put security at 0 and randomizer at, I don't know, I think 100 is the max, actually maybe, yeah, 100 is the max. Let's just make it 33, why not? It's a little higher than that. Yeah, that's basically what we want to do, is randomize that, and security should be just leave it the way it is, it's fine. Let's go back in here. The ball leaves the play area, or it tries to. We're going to make the movement bounce, so now whenever it tries to hit the edge, you'll see, it'll just bounce back. The ball's a little faster than it was in the demo, because I think the demo was a little too easy, so yeah. The ball was bouncing, so now when it hits a wall, it just bounces back. And now we want our paddles to also have that, so we're going to make our player paddle not static type movement, so we'll go into properties, make sure you do that, and your movement properties, and then we'll do 8 directions. But instead of 8, this is basically where you edit your controls. For most objects you'll have, in most games you'll use this kind of movement, which is 8 direction. But instead of that, we're going to do directions, turn off all of the go left and right or diagonal, because obviously you don't want your paddle to go out of line up and down. So yeah, we'll leave it like that. And then also initial direction, just hit this, which means reset. Now also this one is select all, so we want to have reset so that nothing moves off of your paddle. So we can also try movement here if you want to, and you can see our paddle moving up and down. And yeah, that's good. By default, the controls are arrow keys, but we can also change them by going to workspace toolbar, pick your application properties, and then jump into runtime options, default controls. You can set up your joysticks here if you want to, but we're not going to worry about joysticks. Keyboard, and then the one up here means player one. And you can pick your controls here. I like leaving them the way they are, though. I just wanted to show you guys how you could change it if you wanted to. We'll get deeper into that when we update our game to have a second player and also adjustable difficulty and timers and things like that. But we'll do that in episode 2 if we continue. So yeah, so far we have, let's hit run application. So far we have our paddle, but the ball doesn't bounce off the paddle, and also you can't lose. So we want to make our ball, when it collides with another object, which is our player paddle. So you can see, if you hover over it, you can see ball, collision between ball and player paddle. The ball will bounce. So now let's try it. We start the game, and he bounces right off of me. The randomizer I put in makes that angle a little weird whenever he hits you, and we'll also change how he reacts to hitting you with our next video. But right now he just bounces off in the direction. I actually want to turn down the randomness we have and the speed a little bit, because I think it's a little too fast. So we'll go to our movement menu for the ball, set it back down to 60, so he's slightly faster than your paddle. And I want our randomness to go back to 20, and I want our security up to like 70, because we don't want him to go we don't want him to go unpredictable really for this kind of game. So now he can bounce off our paddle, and yeah, that seems a little more like Pong. Alright, awesome. Hey, I'm recording something. No, it's fine, I can cut it. And the next thing we're going to want to do is make sure our bot's paddle can bounce off. So we're going to do, you can just drag down to copy that line, and you can right click and hit edit, and you can change what the second object is that it collides with. So if it collides with the bot's paddle, it'll also bounce. And now if you're in application, it's going to be a little hard to see it, but if it hits the bot's paddle, it will bounce. You'll see here. There we go. And well, right now it's just a one-player game, so we want to make sure that the other paddle moves like by the computer controlled. So we're going to make a system that makes this paddle follow the ball's movement up and down, but it's a little slower, so it won't automatically hit the ball. So by default, actually we're going to want to go to bot paddle, leave it at static, and leave the initial direction at nothing. Make sure that's the way it is. And then we're going to make another active, and we're going to call this computer follow, because why not? That sounds like a good name. And we'll change our width to 1280, which is the size of our play area. And then we'll hit edit, select this, oops, hit the wrong button, select it all, hit delete, and make this any color you want, because it's going to be invisible. So I'm going to make it, let's make it a little bit brighter green, bright green, so we can see it for testing purposes or whatnot. And now if we'll go to our event editor, hit right click, and this is our special line, which is a lot of good important things for coding. We'll hit always, and we're going to make it always set y coordinate, which is our up and down, to the same as the ball, which means it'll be like we hit enter expression. So we're going to right click on our ball, position y coordinate. So now the y coordinate of our player follow, our computer follow, will always be the same y as the ball. So that now if we hit run an application, you'll see that the bar moves up and down as the ball moves up and down. So now we want our opponent's paddle to follow the ball's movement. We're going to make a new always command and set our bot paddle's direction, which will actually be look in direction. So we're going to use look in direction, which basically means it'll be looking towards this. And we want it to always be looking at this, and also we want it to be looking at the spot right above its head so that it doesn't move out of line. So 506 is not the right number. I think 504 is actually the very center of that area. So y should be 0, and x should be 504, so the position that it's looking at is directly above or below its head. So now it's always looking that direction, and we also want it to always be moving in that direction. So we're going to do we're actually going to go back real quick and set the bot's paddle to 8 directions as well, but then clear the directions and turn off moving at start. Actually, moving at start can stay on. Leave that on. And then we're going to go to our event editor. We are going to right click on our command line. So now it's already started looking. We're going to right click and hit movement, set speed to 50. So now it is always moving up and down with the line. So it looks a little janky because that's just because how it looks. But then whenever the ball starts moving faster, you'll see that it goes off. So let's make sure we can't see that line anymore, because the line's kind of getting distracting. We can't play the game with the lines in the way. And we're going to go to our lines properties, hit visible at start so it's not checked, and then run our application, and you can just see the ball. But it's still following the ball. So now the computer's paddle has actually lost the game, and he's continuing to lose it. But basically what we need next is a losing condition, which we'll do by going to the event editor, doing an test position of ball. If it hits the left side or the right side, doesn't matter because we don't have a win or loss yet, but we'll keep it just this way for now. We'll hit OK. So if it leaves the play area on the left or the right, we'll go to our storyboard controls, which is basically the rhythm of the game, and we'll hit restart current frame. So now if we hit run application, you can see that let's just say I hit this back. I don't want to lose, I want him to lose, so I'm going to try to make him lose. We'll play it real quick. Ooh, this looks like a good one. Nope, not quite. I'll just lose. So when I lose, let me move up. It'll just restart the application at the beginning. So now we have a functioning bot, we have a loss condition, and we also have our own movement and the ball's movement. So I hope you guys enjoyed this make a game in under 20 minutes or however long this took video. So yeah, I hope you guys will have fun making this by yourselves, and then hopefully this leads on to more complex games you guys can make. I'll make more complex games in another video, and we'll also update this one to have cooler features and different things like that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, and I almost forgot, guys, that if you want to export this game so you can send it to your friends or anything like that, if they don't have Fusion, they can't run right now. If you just hit run application, like you can here and test it, but you can't actually use this as a actual format for a file. So what you want to do is hit file, or not new, actually, I hit new. Oh no. You gotta hit file, build, and application. So it'll be an exe, which is just an executable file, which is really easy to, you just click on it and it starts up. And we're gonna name the file pong for beginners. Beginners. Yeah, that's our beginners. That's close enough. Yeah, we'll go with that. And now if you go to your desktop, you can see this little lightning bolt symbol with this little like red circle around it, and that is the default executable symbol, and we can actually later show you how to update that as well. But by default it'll upload with this file, and if we just double click on it, it'll start up our game. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to make a second episode of this, and I can show you guys how to make this into an updated version of Pong with a bunch of different cool arcade mechanics, and we'll actually start getting into some deeper level things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you can use it in a way that can make cool games for fun or for, you know, whatever you want to do with a cool game you make. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.